Hello, first-time home buyers. Today we're going to talk about some common mistakes that first-time home buyers make. Some of them happen before the purchase and some of them happen after the purchase. So I'm going to walk you through some of them. I'm going to kind of read it right from the website here, and I'd encourage you to visit fhalenders.com to read through these and bookmark it. I'm going to put a link in the first pinned comment and also in the description, so you could see more. And then also, if you want to get pre-approved, pre-qualified, we can help you with that too. So the first common mistake is not to fully understand your financial situation, where you're at now, before you entertain the idea of going to buy a house. You know, where are you right now financially? What kind of money do you have? Do you bring enough income in? Just to assess your financial situation and stability to determine whether this is the right time for you to buy a house. Now, of course, a good loan officer will help you with that, but you really need to do your investigative work on that first on your own to assess your financial situation. The second thing is something that comes into play not only before but also after you purchase the home, which is staying to a particular budget. So you need to stick to a budget as you are preparing to buy the house, as you're trying to save money for a down payment and closing costs. You can't take cruises and buy new cars and do all those other things. You need to stick to a budget that's going to help you to purchase the home. But also after you buy the house, you need to stick to a budget so that way you can be a successful first-time home buyer and not lose the house because you went crazy and spent all of your money and didn't have any money to pay for the mortgage. So another common first-time home buyer mistake is not applying for a mortgage or talking to a loan officer before you start looking for a home. It's a common mistake for people to think that they want to buy a house, let's say for $400,000, and after they've gone shopping on their own and looking at online resources to see what home prices are and driving through neighborhoods, only to find out after they speak with a loan officer that they can only afford a $300,000 house. Well, you should speak to a mortgage loan officer and apply for your mortgage, at least to get a pre-approval, well before you start shopping for a home, not only because you need to find out how much you can get approved for, but they'll identify anything that might need to be corrected. So let's say you find out that your credit scores are very low. You still might qualify and get approved, but you might get a better deal if you can improve your scores. Or you might be short on cash for the down payment or the closing costs. You might need to wait a couple of months because you had a recent bankruptcy. You might need to wait a couple of months because you just recently changed jobs 2 weeks ago. So these are all things that you will identify by speaking with a good loan officer first, and then before you go out shopping for anything. So that's another one. Another mistake you might make is just going with one lender and not doing a comparison. And this happens quite often when you walk into the real estate office and you maybe even have a friend who's a realtor, and they say, "Oh, I have a lender for you. Just talk to this person over here," and that's someone that they're comfortable with. And for all you know, they might have some kind of a side deal with that person, which is a conversation for another video. But you need to compare. You cannot just take someone's word for it. That lender that they're referring to you, or if you just found someone online, that lender might not have all the programs that you need. They might not have the best deal for you. So you need to compare, just like you would when you shop for anything else. I really can't understand why people are not shopping for a lender and comparing when that's a huge deal. I mean, that's thousands of dollars that you could be overspending on if you're not selecting the correct lender. It's not like you're shopping for a toaster. You know, this is a big thing. You should be shopping. So another mistake is to not compare lenders. Another mistake we're going to talk about that first-time home buyers make is not having a home inspection. It is critical. Even if the lender's not requiring it because you need it for an FHA loan. But if you're not getting an FHA loan and you're, say, getting a conventional loan, even if you're buying a home cash, you should have the home inspected. You never know what the inspector is going to find, things that you're not trained at looking at. There takes a trained eye to find things that could potentially be wrong with the home and could cost you thousands of dollars. You need to get a home inspection. It will cost you a few $100s. I promise you that if there's something wrong, your inspector not only might find it, but would also help negotiate with the seller to get money off the house or to get the thing repaired, which is going to save you more than the cost of the inspection anyway. Another mistake you might make after you buy the house is spending too much on home improvements right away. It makes sense to just, live in the house for a couple of months, see what's happening. Don't spend all of your money on home improvements and not have a reserve set aside for emergencies. It's really, I guess it's something that new first-time home buyers will do, is go run right out and want to change everything or spend thousands of dollars on furniture because they feel like they need to fill every room right away. That's a mistake. Take your time. Do it slowly, whether it's the home improvements or the furniture. Something that you really can't change, a mistake that you can make that you can't change, is choosing the wrong location. Whether it's the wrong town, the wrong neighborhood, maybe you chose a home that's right underneath power lines or backing up to a highway or next to a shopping plaza. These are all things that if you make that mistake, you're going to have to live with it until you sell the house. So make sure that you are very particular as far as the location's concerned, and you don't settle on the location because you'll be sorry later. Back to lending, one of the mistakes you can make is not considering all options as it relates to the mortgage program. So you might be just going for a conventional loan. Maybe FHA is better for you because you can put 3.5% down. Maybe you should look at a 40-year fixed or an interest-only loan. There's other options for you to consider, and you need to understand all those options, and hopefully your loan officer offers them all to you. Again, that's why you should be shopping for lenders. But you need to know what all of your options are and not just go with conventional automatically. You can make a mistake with your down payment, whether it's putting too much down or putting too little down. If you put too much down, it's great because you might not have PMI, but then you may have spent all of your money and you don't have reserves, and now you don't have money to live, to fix things that will break in your home, and or to put towards retirement, whatever else you want to do with that money. Once it's thrown into the equity of your home, it becomes more difficult to get it out later. Or conversely, making too small of a down payment, and now you do have PMI, and now it is costing you a couple $100 extra per month, and you did have the money to put it down. So these are all things that you could make a mistake on when it comes to your down payment, and this is why, again, you need to speak with someone ahead of time, because they can give you all the options. You can make the right decision. Just in general, another final, I think, take I've got here when it comes to mistakes that first-time homebuyers make is not understanding the true costs of being a homeowner. And whether it's paying for utilities, paying for things that you need around the house, like you just bought a house and now it's spring and you realize 2 weeks later the grass is knee high and you don't have a lawnmower. You didn't realize that, or you forgot that, yeah, that's something that I have to take care of. Now you have to go find a lawnmower, maybe a used one someplace. These are all examples, having to paint, having to go buy garbage cans because the prior owner didn't leave you with garbage cans. Just basic tools to fix things around the house, dishes, utensils to eat off of. maybe you already have these things if you were renting somewhere. So maybe those things you're just taking with you again. But there are a lot of things that that come into play. Insurance, an HOA if you're buying a condo or a home that's in an area that has in a development that has an HOA. These are all costs related to owning a home. And just because I hear people say, well, my rent is X and I can get my mortgage payment for the same, and so why wouldn't I want to do that? Well, the mortgage payment isn't the end of your costs of owning a home. So you need to fully vet all of those, and again, we're going to list some of those costs on the website that you can go through and take a look at. But those are the top 10 first-time home buyer mistakes that I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask them in the comments below, or just follow the link to the website at fhalenders.com if you want to get pre-approved. You want to speak to that lender ahead of time like I talked about earlier. I encourage that. We can help you with that conversation. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next time.